All right, I think we are live. Welcome everybody to the Fake Guru debate. John Crestani versus CoffeeZilla.
Even I wore a hat, so you can't make fun of my hair anymore.
There you go.
You hurt my feelings in one of your last videos.
Yeah, the other day, actually, I got like a pretty bad haircut, and somebody was like, hey, you're making fun of John Crestani, but you got to look in the mirror, bud. So, I understand the feels of that. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, CoffeeZilla. I just wanted to give a big shout out to John Crestani for coming on the channel. I really appreciate him having the guts to just say, hey, let's do it, man. Let's talk about it. Let's hash out our differences. And that's what today's about. It's not to yell or anything like that. And because of that, because it's not, it's not going to be a slobber knocker, we've got Spencer Van here to moderate the debate because we're trying to keep it civil. You know what I mean? We're going to get a little heated. Let's not lie.
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Spencer's back.
I'm back.
Yeah. So, Spencer, we have some topics that we kind of thought about beforehand that, we might disagree on. We don't want to agree the whole time. We want to mostly disagree. So, Spencer, you want to kick it off there?
Yeah, so we're going to jump into really the thick of things right away. We're going to talk about refunds. Now, obviously, we've got John Crestani, a course creator. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, CoffeeZilla himself. And because John is on here on CoffeeZilla's show, I think it's fair that John gets to go first on the first point. So, John, refunds, what do you think about them, and what do you have to say?
Sure. So my opinion on refunds is that if you purchase a product, if you make a decision, you have to stick by your decision, and that refunds are not part of that. If you go to college, if you're not happy with your 4-year university, you don't go to the university and say, I didn't get a job. I'm not being paid. I'm in $100,000 in debt. You don't go to your university and say, hey, can I get my $100,000 back? I feel like I don't really know much more than when I took this guy John Crestani's course, and I learned way more. You don't go to the car dealership and you say, oh, I want a refund on my car, my mortgage. When we make decisions, we have to make decisions, and we have to be prepared for those decisions, and I think the whole problem with the society these days is that we look at everything. People are not principled, and this is why our focus is all over the place. This is why people are getting divorced. This is why families are not happening or staying together. It's because people don't want to stick by their decisions anymore, and I think people have to be prepared when they go into something to stick by their decision. It's the only way to become successful.
Are you saying that divorce is the real-life equivalent of a refund?
Yes, it is. Yes, I just compared divorce and refunds. Exactly.
Sure.
You are anti-family if you are for refunds.
So let me jump in here. So I am on the pretty far on the other end of the spectrum, but here's how I think about the goal of a refund, because I think that's important to bear in mind here. What's the purpose of a refund? Well, it's the product does not work as advertised. And my thought about courses, especially given that they're such hard sells usually and they promise so much, my thought is, of course there should be a refund. If you're saying make $10,000 a month, with basically no work, with only a few hours of work put in, if you represent that to me on the front end and say, hey, the secrets are all locked in this little box over here and you're only going to get it if you purchase, I cannot make an informed decision about your product without actually purchasing it and seeing what's inside the box. And so it's not fair to me to say, once I've opened it up and realized what I have been promised is not actually in this thing, say, oh, well, it was your free choice. Well, my free choice was an uninformed free choice, and it was misrepresented by predatory advertising. So, I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts there, but
did you buy one of these courses and think you were just going to make like $10,000 like day one or something?
Hey man, that's what everyone tells me. That's what all the courses tell me. They say, hey, $10,000 a month, 4 hours of work. is legitimately the advertising given. And maybe you should say, like, we all shouldn't be so credulous of advertising. We should all just assume everyone's lying to us all the time. But I'd prefer to live in a world where the claims of advertisers...
That's what I'm saying.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
No. I don't know that's what you're saying. But my point is that I think people shouldn't be punished for taking the advertising at face value, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? And I think you'd agree, the advertising on a lot of these courses is very extreme. I mean, it makes it sound like you're going to be rich, like that.
So it makes it sound, and that you go to a skincare store. I don't know if you've ever been to, the mall, and they sell skincare, and they say, oh, this is going to make you look beautiful. Very, very subjective term. But let's talk about these educational courses. So the educational courses, we're delivering online education. Okay. Nobody can, it's actually against the law to promise results. It's against the law to say, you will make $10,000 if you just pay me $1,000. It's not possible. That's called a Ponzi scheme, if anything. And it's against the law. So of course, if people should get refunds if they are not getting what they were promised. But these courses, a lot of them, mine included, we are showing people how to make money. In your argument, you're saying that you should get a refund on universities, because universities say, oh, you'll get paid more. There's some study 50 years ago that says you will get a higher paycheck. So the fact that I went to university for 4 years, does that mean that, and I didn't get a job, the only job I got out of college was like cold calling. Does that mean I should get a refund on university because I didn't get the intended results? What are your thoughts on that?